Hello and welcome to my tutorial on building a simple CRUD application with PHP and MySQL. So in this tutorial, we'll be building an application using vanilla PHP, which you will have to connect to a database and perform some simple standard database functionality. So what do we need to do to get started? The first thing is that we need to have PHP installed on your machine or wherever you're doing your development. And we're going to need the MySQL I extension. This is what we're going to use to actually connect to a database. It's a driver that gets installed with PHP so that we can connect to the database and do all of our database interaction. You're going to need MySQL Database installed on your machine as well. This is it doesn't necessarily have to be on your machine, but it's probably easier to get it, download it from MySQL and have it installed on your machine. You're going to need to know the credentials to get into it, specifically username and password, and the URL to get into the database. Without the database, kind of makes things a little harder. One other thing that I like to use, not necessarily you have to use, is the MySQL Workbench, which you can find on the MySQL site. This is a nice tool for doing all the interactions between the database, like creating new schemas, creating tables, and things like that. And we'll go over some of that in this tutorial as well. You're going to need something like Visual Studio Code or some sort of editor. I like to use Visual Studio Code because it's got a lot of extensions and helps you visualize your code a lot better than just a standard text editor. There's a lot of different other IDEs out there, integrated development environments, that you can use that will help you get kind of the same functionality you can get out of VS Code. VS Code is just nice because it's free. So what are we building? Well, we're building a simple CRUD application. But what is CRUD? Well, CRUD is actually an acronym. It stands for Create, Read, Update, Delete. And those are the four main functionality that you will do on your database. Those are the things that you will do the most. You'll be creating things, you'll be reading from your database, you'll be updating records, and you'll be deleting stuff. So we're going to go through all four of those on this particular application. So the project flow, and how are we going to be building this? Well, the first thing is we're going to go and we'll open up a command shell and create the directory structure. Then we will create a PHP page that will show you that PHP is running and show you that you have the right extensions installed on your machine. This is an important step here. We'll actually be using the built-in PHP web browser, so we won't have to run anything like Apache or Nginx. We're going to do is all local, and I'll show you how to get that up and running. We're going to create the database. So like I said, we're going to go into MySQL Workbench, and we'll create the schema and we'll create the table. We're going to build out all the PHP pages. We're going to build the pages for viewing your items. We're going to build the pages for deleting, updating, and creating new items. Then we're going to connect all those pages up to the database and actually get it to function. Once we have it functioning, we're going to then test all the functionality in our page to make sure that you can create, you can update, you can delete, and you can read all the records that are in your table. So let's get started.